And turn things over to Kim and Kimberly.
Thanks, Lindsay. Everyone, welcome to this time together. I are going to take you through a prayer that will incorporate music, movement.
Your sound is cutting in and out a little bit, Kim.
Okay. Let me move a little closer. Is that better?
I think so.
Okay. So we will begin this evening with a prayer, with a song, and then some silence. You'll hear a chime, and then Kimberly will come in and give you some instruction for a guided meditation, and we'll then lead you through that and with some silence. And you'll hear another chime, and I will come in with another song and a period of silence. And the final chime will take us back to Kimberly for our close. So that's the outline for the evening of our prayer time together. So if you begin, you can close your eyes or keep them open, whichever you prefer. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. When I call, answer me. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. Come and listen to me. Lo, 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 lo. Lo, 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 lo. Lo, 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 lo. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. When you call, open my heart. O Lord, hear my prayer. O Lord, hear my prayer. Let me listen to you.
So while you're in this space, I invite you to keep your eyes closed. And this is going to begin with a fairly active physical relaxation. And I want to talk you through how that's going to go, but if you can just keep your eyes closed and focus on your breathing while I'm talking you through the instructions. There are 4 ways to relax a muscle in the body. One is to move it. One is to tense it and then release. One is to touch it, to massage it. And then the most sophisticated is to tell it, just will it to release. And so I invite you to play around with those 4 different options. What moving it might look like is if you're going to relax your wrists, let's say, perhaps in your hands, perhaps you wiggle them around, that's moving it. If you want to do the same thing with your hand, you want to tense and release, you would tense it like in a ball it in a fist and then release it and do that usually 3 times is the magic number. To the touch part is, let's say certain things, especially around your shoulders or maybe your jaw muscles, get really tense, and it's very helpful to massage them, to give a little self massage. And then to tell your muscles to relax is particularly effective for really hard to reach muscles like the intercostal muscles between your ribs, or maybe the muscles behind the back of your knees, things we don't think about a lot. Sometimes that's just a mental exercise. And so I'm going to start you off with that. So get in a comfortable position, and this is going to be a little different than centering prayer. Instead of keeping your spine straight, if it's okay for you chiropractically, this practice usually involves starting in what they call a comfortable slump. So you're only using enough energy to keep yourself up in the chair, but your head is dropped down and your shoulders are a little bit rounded. If this is not comfortable for you, feel free to keep your spine straight or lie down or do anything that works for you. But the traditional way of doing this is to be in a comfortable slump. And now, as we return to our breath, I would like to get us breathing in unison so that we can corporately feed off of one another's energy and share this time together, and also to slow our rhythms down. So what this is going to look like is I'm going to count out a breath. It might be a little challenging for you. If so, feel free to change it or modify it. But we're going to start with in to the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, and out to the count of 4. Then we're going to do a few rounds of that, and then we're going to increase that to rounds of 6. So to start, if everyone can give me a big, deep exhale, blow all the stale air out. Inhale, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 3, 4. Inhale, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 3, 4. Inhale, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 3, 4. Inhale, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now return to your normal breathing. And I want you to scan your body and find one place that's holding a little bit of tension. Common places might be around your eyes, your shoulders. Sometimes it's your hands. Sometimes it's between your 2 scapula. But identify a place where you're holding a little bit of extra tension. And then breathe into that place and move it, or touch it, or tell it, or tense it. And breathe. Remembering that God is as close as our breath. And we breathe and remember God. And now let that go. And at your feet, if you want to kick off your shoes, if you have shoes, I'd love for you to wiggle your toes and point your feet and flex them. And breathe. Tense your feet and let them go. Maybe do that 3 times. And get your toes and your ankles and your feet in a relaxed state. A little more relaxed than they were before, maybe just 10%. And then set them back on the ground. And really notice where your feet are touching the ground, making contact with the ground. Breathe. And now this little green light of permission is going to move through our body up from our feet into our calves and our shins. And I want you to think of your calves and your shins relaxing. Now, these are tricky ones. You can flex your feet and you can lean over a little bit and you can do a typical calf stretch and you can point your feet. You can also touch them. Your calf is the second most dense muscle in your body. It's a rough one. So you want to give it a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. Breathe. You can also, if it's uncomfortable to touch it or to move it, you can just tell it. Just whisper ever so gently, calf. Release a little bit. And breathe. Then the green light moves up into that joint area of your knee. Our knees do so much work for us every day. Whispering a little prayer of gratitude to God for your knees and whatever state they're in, even if you feel like you don't have great knees, they took you through this day. Breathe. There's so many little muscles in there. With your mind, purpose to relax the areas, the muscles around the whole knee joint a little bit more than they are right now. 10% more. Let them melt. And breathe. And then the green light of life and permission goes up to your upper leg and those hamstrings and those quadriceps, and you might want to touch them, you might want to move them, you might want to tense them. Tensing is often really good for the quads to do 3 quick tenses. If you need to stand or bend over to kind of get your hamstrings engaged and breathe. The upper legs are particularly tricky for women. Sometimes people don't love their upper legs, and I'd love for you to just say a prayer of gratitude to God for your thighs and how far they've brought you in life. And breathe. And then the green light moves up to the hinges of your hips. Now, sometimes this is an area that's nice to move if you can, just to arc around. But you can also just tell those hips to relax. And part of this process is also just being grateful for your whole body and acknowledging it in whatever state of injury or illness or health or wellness it's in. Recognizing it, being thankful for it, and breathing. And then as that green light goes up your back body, you can take your arms and just stretch to the sky if you're able, like you're stretching to the ceiling, and you're stretching through your spine and your back. If that doesn't work for you, you can just tell your spine to relax 10% more than it is right now. And breathe, and ever so gently bring your arms back down. And feel your spine with your mind. Feel all those vertebrae. Maybe giving them a little more space. If you like, you can return to your comfortable slump, or you could stay erect. And breathe. Now we move to our front body, your abdomen. You can squeeze it in like you're doing a sit-up. Squeeze it and let it go. And squeeze it and let it go. Squeeze it one more time. And then on a breath, just let it go. And the green light moves up through your rib cage, your whole front body. We're gonna breathe in, a big breath in, a big inhale. And I'd love for you to think of expanding your ribs as much as your health and your movement will allow. So on your time, inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. And a final time, inhale, expanding those ribs as much as you can, and exhale. And then return to your natural breath. Now think of the green light swirling around your whole chest cavity. And I'd like for you to take your hand, if you can, if this is okay for you, and just tap around your chest cavity where your heart is on the other side, your sternum. We actually have muscles all through there that we often grip. And we have to gently invite them to relax. And breathe. When you're on the left side of your body, you might want to think about just gently tapping your heart and asking it to open a little bit. Breathe. And then gently let that go. And think about rolling your shoulders back and forward, getting the blood moving in there, and also breaking up any holding that you might be doing in your shoulders or your upper arms. And breathe. Breathe. And then let that go. And then bringing your attention and the green light to your fingertips and your hands, and start to either wiggle them or perhaps rub them. If you work on the keyboard a lot, sometimes you actually need a physical massage on your hands and your fingers. You can slightly pull on them a little bit, the fingers, and breathe. While you're working on your hands, think of your wrists and your forearms. You might want to massage them, or you might want to move your, circle your hands to get your wrists and forearms involved. Or you might just want to rest them gently in your lap and give them the direction to relax. Breathe. And now work your way up your bicep. It's often a good area, just your bicep and your triceps. Just give a little bit of a self-massage. Or you can tense and release. Breathe. And then one more time up to your shoulders, right around your neck. I encourage you, if you can, to lean up and massage that area. We hold so much tension there. Breathe. Yeah, that's great, Marjorie. And also stretching. Really good, Linda. And breathe. And in your breath, remember that God is with us. Then you can let that go. And now your neck. Neck is a sensitive area, and you know your body better than anyone else. You may just want to sit and think about your neck. You may feel that it's okay to touch your neck. You may want to roll it around, but whatever feels good for you, just think of relaxing that neck a little bit more. And while you're doing that, you can keep doing that if you like. And we're going to add to that the muscles of your head. You have a lot of muscles in your head. If you feel okay with touching your hair, it's sometimes great to make a fist and use your knuckles just to massage your head a little bit. And you might find one spot, breathe into it where you have a lot of tension. Breathe. And while you're working on your head, I'm going to talk you through your face. You can let the head go when you like, or you can keep with it. Your face has a lot of muscles in it. There's disagreement about how many, but at least 47 and maybe a lot more. Strangely, we hold a lot of tension in our eyes. Most people's eyes are a lot bigger than you think they are because we slightly squint all the time. And so I'm going to ask you, if your eyes aren't closed, to close them. And notice when you're closing them, if you're closing them harder than you need to. Can your eyes be closed a little more lightly? Can there be a little less pressure? And if you're having trouble figuring this out, close your eyes really tight, really, really tight, and you'll see what that feels like, and then let that go. And breathe. And in this space, with your eyes relaxed, open your mouth as wide as you can and chew and breathe. And then just move your face in crazy ways. Everyone's eyes closed, so move your cheeks, move your jaw, move your eyebrows. Just wake that face up. And then breathe and let it come to stillness. And then also with your knuckles, or sometimes the palms of the heel of your hand will work. Reach up and rub your jaw muscle, which is called your masseter muscle. It starts right by your ear. It's the densest muscle on our body. You might want to give yourself a little gentle massage. Really easy through there. This is a very powerful muscle that we hold a lot of tension in. Breathe. Good. And then let that all go and let your hands relax. And if your spine is not erect, then come to an erect position and breathe. And scan your body again. And notice if tension has returned anywhere. It might be the same place it was in the beginning. It might be a different place. Breathe. And whatever that spot is where maybe a little bit of tension creeped in, either move it, tense it, touch it, or tell it to relax. And in this place, this relaxed, open physical place, open to God, open to surprise, open to healing, open to wonder. We're going to go through a very short imaginative exercise and then finish with some quiet for some personal centering prayer. I know this session's been a little talky, way more talky than usual. So I ask you to invite any thoughts you may have that dislike that or like that. Go ahead and allow those thoughts to happen and then release them. Any thoughts that you might be having right now, it might be about the laundry, it might be about how you feel about the sound of my voice, it might be about a sensation you're having in your body. I just ask you to go ahead and let yourself have those, filter through them, and then decide to let them go for the next 15 minutes. They may come back, but you can give yourself the direction to allow them to go. And now I want you to imagine that you and God are in your heart. And your heart looks like a corridor full of hallways. Many, many hallways. There can be multiple corridors. Maybe it's one long one. Maybe they spider off of each other. Maybe there's thousands of doors. Maybe there's 12. You decide. Maybe your corridor has furniture and things on the walls. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't have a ceiling. Maybe it has colored walls. In your mind's eye, in your imagination, circle and look at your heart. And notice if some of the doors are open, some are closed, some might have cobwebs, some might have furniture piled in front of them. Some, the door may be off the hinges, some may just be a doorway. In your mind's eye, I'd love for you to walk over to a door that looks really safe. It looks like a door that's well traveled. And you're going to walk through this door, but when you walk through this door, what I want you to find there is your very favorite taste from childhood. So you walk through the threshold, and there's this room representing that taste. I actually want you to see if you can, with your tongue, remember, taste what that taste tasted like. It doesn't have to be correct. It's only the imagination exercise that matters, not how right or wrong it is. Try to taste that taste. Breathe. And are there any smells associated with this taste? Maybe the food itself has a smell, or maybe the place where you ate it most often had a smell, or maybe the person who gave it to you had a smell. Just try to smell any smells associated with this taste. Breathe. Was there a sound associated with this smell? Maybe it crackled when it cooked, or maybe it's the sound of someone talking when you were eating it, or maybe it had a crunch. If there aren't any sounds, that's fine too. Stay with the smell and the taste. Can you layer in sounds that might be associated with this? And now with your eyes still closed, I want you to think of are there any sights that are associated with this? I mean, what it looks like itself, what the food looks like, what the taste looks like, what a person you shared it with looked like. Sight often tends to be our dominant sense. That's so often why we close our eyes when we're meditating. So let yourself see with your mind's eye. It doesn't have to be right, but look for details. If it's food, what are the exact colors? What are the textures? If it's a person, what are details? Are their lips chapped? Is their hair out of place? What is the exact color of their eye? Just for fun, just to play, to unleash the playful side of yourself. What are the sights associated with this taste? And breathe. And then I want you to think of physical sensations, touch, that are associated with this taste. In your mind's eye, reach out and touch it. Is it gooey? Is it hot? Is there a person there who has a hand that's soft or wrinkled? Is there a place? Are you sitting on a table or dirt or a chair? Just on the tips of your fingers right now, imagine what that touch would feel like. And breathe. And offer up a prayer of gratitude that God allowed you to have this taste, that you still have the memory of this taste, that you can return to it whenever you like. And breathe. And then either with your mind's eye or actually even physically, reach out your hand and take this experience, take that taste, put it in your hand and tuck it into the left side of your chest. Just tuck it into your heart. And breathe. And from this place of a relaxed body and an open heart, we're going to do 3 minutes of silence. I'm going to start with a chime, and I'll end with a chime.
I invite you to remain with your eyes closed, holding on to the gratitude, the relaxation, your prayers, and your communion with God for a few more minutes. And on this night, together, I will offer this song of prayer, followed by a couple of minutes of silence. When you hear the chime, Kimberly will begin to bring us back to life. Let us pray. Nada ti turbe, nada ti espante, tiene Dios tiene, nada le fala, nada ti turbe, nada ti espante, solo Dios basta. Nothing can trouble, nothing can frighten those who seek God shall never go wanting. Nothing can trouble, nothing can frighten. God alone fills us. God alone fills us.
Almighty and loving God, I thank you for the gift of life. For the sake of the human community, I request that we might become the fullness of what you intend for us to be, right where we are in all our extraordinary ordinariness. Amen.
Amen.
When you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open and come back.
Thank you so much, Kim and Kimberly. That was really moving and really physical. It was wonderful that the two of you were going together because you both gave such physical presentations that brought us into our bodies in different ways. I was going to have us take a break right away and then segue into the class, but before we do that, I just wanted to ask if any of the group members, rather than the class members, would like to share their experience for a few minutes before we break, because I know that was very moving last time. If there's anything you have to share about what that was like for you, or the class members as well.
Honestly, I don't remember a week ago, so I can't answer the question, but I want to say that I love this group. I love meeting together, and um, I would really appreciate hearing how it has been, the experience for people in the group. So my question.
I'm very grateful that you invited us to be with the group. And this evening was beautiful. The Taizé music and the whole body scan and the meditation, everything just went together so well. It was like a beautiful flow. And it was, what can I say? The silence was very full. It's very beautiful. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Hi as well, ladies. I love the guided meditation that takes us to, through our bodies, and especially the part when we were going through our hearts and opening a door and discovering a taste from childhood. So it's nice to think of positive things, especially when we're in this group together, because everyone here is so special and enjoys it. I'm sure as much as I do, and learning different things as we're going through this. Um, I just so appreciate everybody and all of you coming to show us new ways of good self-care and focusing and listening, with our hearts. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie.
I wanted to say how much I enjoyed the body scan. That before COVID, I was, for the 3 years before COVID, I was involved with a regular chair yoga group. And the body scan was part of that. And that, of course, all stopped with COVID. And so this reminded me of how much I benefited from that, and I certainly benefited from it today. So thank you, Kimberly.
I also really benefited from the experience. What struck me more than anything was the gratitude that I have for my body, but I don't always say it. I don't always tell my body how much I appreciate all of the work it's done over all these years and how many miles it's gone with me, and never given up. And that was really very touching. The whole thing. I'm very familiar with this. Way back in the 70s, I practiced yoga, and we did this same relaxation exercise. But when you added the cake, that was the candle on top of it for me, because I love cake, and it was no problem trying getting a memory of and tasting and feeling the surroundings and doing the whole thing. It was absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much. I also appreciate this group so much, that I have really benefited from the group meditations. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Marcia.
I just wanted to
I would
share.
add that I really appreciated being taken through a different way of centering prayer. I felt it was very spiritual, but it was different from my routine, and it just opened up my heart. It really brought me back to my mother. She used to cook this one particular cake with the 7-minute icing and then the coconut on top. And I have actually forgotten about that. So that has been given back to me. And it's right here in my heart now. And I think uh, what we experienced this evening, but in general, this group is just a blessing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Joe, did you want to say something?
I did. So appreciate this group. Certainly, as the others have said, it's really nice to be included in and get to know some folks in the process. I came in a little bit late, so I missed some parts, some of the earlier parts of it. But I got there in time for the part with the door, opening the door, and experiencing that. And I have to say, I usually don't do well with these imaginative kind of things. For whatever reason, a lot of them don't grab me, and I'm like, I don't know. But as soon as you ask for taste, cotton candy came to mind, and I don't know why, but it was the way you let us do. I was able to experience. Of course, it has smells and it has a feel and everything like that to it. So it was wonderful, and as you shared, it's something. Having put it back in my heart, it's something I can go back to. But I just am very pleased, tickled, and pleased that something actually worked and that I was able to enter into it more fully. So thank you much.
Okay, well, we should probably stop there for reasons of time. So thank you for being with us, members of the group. It's still possible that we'll open the class next week too. I want to ask the people who are presenting for their permission to do that, but we may do something similar to this next week. Just have the first 45 minutes of our class open to you, and have a safe and peaceful evening. And the rest of the class, why don't, it's 7:53, so why don't you try to come back pretty promptly at 7:58, because we have quite a lot still to do. So good night. See you next week.
Thank you for
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Real time.
Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you.
Yes.
Real honor.